Welcome back, children. We are with our last section of topologies under computer networks. We finished learning what is a bus topology, a star topology, a mesh topology, and we had a glance towards even the ring topology. Now we are going to see the last portion, that is your tree topology. What is topology? That is nothing but the design of how the different network devices and the computers are connected to each other. What was the peculiarity of star? We need a hub. A central connecting device called as hub was there always. And if there is a fault happening in the hub, everything will fail. What was the specialty of mesh topology? Every computers inside the network, say if 10 or 20 is there, they are all interconnected with each other following a one-to-one transmission. And what about your bus? It has all the computers connected to each other with a central cable called as backbone. And now tree. Now, as the name indicates, tree means something has to connect it with tree, no? But here you have to imagine a tree upside down, inverted tree. That means the root will be on the top here. And from there, different subsections, sub branches can occur. In that case, automatically your topology will be a combination of other topology. That means two different star topology connected together to one server can become a tree topology. One star, one bus connected together to another central device called as, or central device called as a server can become a tree topology. So if you look at the diagram of tree topology, see, I have a very, it's a vague diagram. So I wanted to show you a best diagram. Before that, just have a look into that definition. Central root node, that is actually your main computer, is connected to one or more other nodes. It should be actually told us two or more LANs connected together in an inverted form comes like a tree topology. So let's have a look into the, tree topologies, good diagrams. Yeah, somewhat here, it's here. Something like this. I hope you can see clearly over here. Yeah, something like this. Even this is not bad. See, this is a land, this is another land, this is another land connected towards a big one. Or to put that in a better frame or framed style of a tree. See, land, another land connected with the backbone switch. This looks like another tree style. Tree, and this a bus and all connected. See, so many ways are there. So many images if you want, you can show, but to put it in the tree styles, the bus is what you see shown here, or this is what I prefer. See, so many things. So even though we say like it looks like an inverted tree, in some of the diagram it doesn't look like an inverted tree, because when a combination of so many things happens, it doesn't looks like a tree itself. But tree definitely is a combination of one or more other kind of topologies. So I would like to say a combination of two stars or two stars and one base together can make a tree topology. So that's regarding how a tree topology looks like. Now, a definition we will definitely form, because we need a definition. We will just see from here, it's the best definition we can have regarding tree. So what I just told about tree is correct or not, you can just check. Tree topologies definition is here. It's a special type of structure where many connected elements are arranged like branches of a tree. So this you can take it and put it into our example of a tree topology is a special type of a structure where many connected elements are arranged like a branches of a tree, or as I said earlier, a connection of different layouts or topologies together which looks like an inverted tree, is also called a tree topology. So the notes, when I am providing it to you, I'll give the best example. So now you know what is a tree topology all about. So many with different diagrams we saw. So from there we can understand how does the layout is designed. Now for you people, you're just seeing the layouts. You are not theoretically going to see how arrangement is done in a lab or in any other places. It's just a diagram shown, no practical application, nothing. That comes if you're going to learn hardware and further in your future expertise areas of your college studies. Otherwise, it's just a stepping stone to understand these kind of topologies are available. Now, how exactly your tree topology is working, the advantages is that if there is a mistake over here, it's shown here as advantages of a mesh topology. Tree topology should be given here. Actually, it is easier to identify the fault, and if at all one of the node is having any issues, it can be isolated from other, and it is easily scalable. And another way you can say is that the advantage is that if you wanted to enlarge your network, instead of having 2-3 hubs, in one area, that what's the way we have done in our lab, you can connect it like a tree topology. Actually, to be more precisely saying, that is what our school is going to be expanding with our lab sessions, where labs where several lands together will become a what we call as a tree style. So there will be a server connecting all these lands together. But now it's not like that. So that is why we say it's scalable. The disadvantages there, the maintenance will become a big problem. It means cost of maintenance will be a problem. And suppose if the main, that is the root server, that is the root main machine, has an issue, this machine has an issues, automatically the entire presentation or entire network is failing. So that is regarding your tree topology. So every disadvantages, when you check, it looks like somewhat similar, isn't it? Something fails, or some backbone fails, hub fails in star and bus, then the entire network is failing. Here also the main server fails, network is failing. The only area where one problem happens in one area and nothing is happening to others is your this one, which one, your mesh, because interconnected nodes are there. So there is no central point anywhere. So that area, if it happens anywhere in one place, you can just put that to that one area, and then you can continue. So that's regarding your your corresponding mesh and your tree. Now, of course, hybrid I'm not talking, even though you saw hybrid here, because it's not there in the syllabus. No need to just talk about your hybrid topology. Hybrid is again a combination of everything together, which I just showed you actually unknowingly in that images. Sometimes it doesn't look like a tree. I showed so it can be a combination of everything. So after learning your topologies, or after understanding the vague idea about the topologies, it is time to choose the best layout. That means how to find out if a question is given to you like this. For example, I'll show the network layouts question. See, Freya Tech Corporation is a professional consultancy company. The company is planning to set up their new offices in India, with its hub at Udaipur. So there is a place called as Udaipur. There they are planning to set up their offices. As a network advisor, you have to understand their requirement and suggest them the best network layout. So the physical location of the blocks of this particular company. Human resources block, HR block, one building. Conference block, another building. Finance block, another building. This is a sample example of your question paper model. Okay, how to choose the network layout. And then they will definitely give this one. What is that? Distance from block to block. So human resources and conference, between this the distance is 110. They should actually specify here. The mistake they have done is they didn't specify meter or kilometer. They should have specified that. Then only we can understand whether repeater has to be placed or not. Human resource, finance, between these two it's 40. Now we assume it's only meter because that place It's given. No, sorry, I didn't see in meter. See. So in meters, so it should be 110 meters. So it's a small area where it has been covered, like a school compound. Conference between conference and finance, again 80 meter. Now, how to design the network layout? So what is your network layout? Whether you should go for this topology, other topology, etc., etc. So in order to choose the best layout, see, we have to think about all these things. The distance, one factor, less installation, maintenance cost, and everything. Everything may or may not be mentioned in the term in the question. So only after going to the question we can have the minimum information given in that particular question, we can design the network. Of course, we will prefer the shortest cable length kind of thing. That is our star topology. Mainly, majority of the questions, answer will be star, and then other things will come accordingly. So coming back, these are the points to be remembered when you design the layout. That is, you have to find out how to install, whether installation has to be easy, whether their cost is a factor for them. That is, if they prefer to have less feasible or less cost item, you should think about best topology. All right. So let's move on. See what is happening. Before we will choose the layout, we are going to just find out between this human resource and conference, and between finance how much is there. So human resource and conference is 110. Then from conference to finance it is 80. So 110 plus 80, 190. So that's length. It's been calculated and kept. Between conference to finance, you have 80, and then from finance to human resource you have 40. So 80 plus 40, it's 120. And the next one, that is finance to human resource, you have 40, and then from human resource to conference you have 110. So when you calculate, you can see here that B, that is, it's from finance to conference it's 80, and from finance to human resources 40. The shortest cable length, see, 120 meter only we require. So that is the shortest cable length. You understood how we are calculating. So we will think that, yeah, that place where finance is there, that can become the place for our hub to be kept, or the router to be kept, or that area. We will again just check with one more thing, that is whether the number of computers are also more or not. See, in finance the computers are more in numbers, 120, human resource 25, conference 190. So with regard to these two, normally the one which is having the shortest cable length to other buildings will be having more number of computers in our question. So after deciding these two, we will understand that, yes, which one your finance block is going to be your server block, or the server machine has to be placed in finance. So we will never think about ring topology, because as we already told the reason, we are not following that. So the best layout we decided is finance to conference and finance to human. This is how you have to draw. So finance, conference, finance, human resource. The reason is it has minimum cable length and it has more number of computers there. So finance can become the best place to place the main machine, it is server. That is one question, where to place a server. Then which is the best layout? Layout is star. The reason is it requires only short cable length. We rarely go for best topology. You understood? So server decision is also made. How to decide the server? It can be decided by seeing the number of computers, nodes required in each block. Server must be installed in the wing or block with maximum number of computers. So server is also installed in finance block. Sometimes server will be in one block, and the shortest cable length will be in other areas. Very rarely it happens, but sometimes it can also. So your answer to place your hub will be in one block, and the server will be placed in another block. That's totally fine, but it doesn't happen in the normal questions. So this is how to place your server and how to decide your layout. Layout, as I told, we will never go for tree or this one, which one your best. Mesh can be done depending upon what area of expertise you're choosing. If they talk about military or weather forecasting or something like a government, secret, information passing, then of course mesh can be done. Otherwise, in a normal companies, star is the best topology. Now, how to decide the repeater? Now, I told if the length is more, for example, in kilometers distance it is kept, and if it is spans over more than 100 meters, which one? Your length of the cable. Then a repeater can be placed. So we need a repeater, and to what purpose? For what purpose we are using repeater? To amplify the signal. In order to amplify, to regenerate the signal, if the distance between two blocks or two, what they call lands are more than 100 meters, then you can place the repeater between them. All right. The highest transmission, the super fast transmission media is optical fiber, and these are the things which has to be there in the syllabus, which is cut off. So that part we are not got discussing about. Okay. Now when it is if your company is placed in the highest terrain, for example in a hilly area and all, then of course we need satellite communication. If it is in a normal plateau area where digging and drenching of soil is not a problem, then coaxial cable can be placed. So depending upon what transmission media you use, that also is one kind of question which they used to ask. But since they cut off that from the syllabus, your question will be restricted to which is the best layout, which is where to place a server, and then why you choose this, because of the cost or because of short cable length, etc., etc. And again, one more portion which is cut off is firewall. You all know what is a firewall. It is a hardware or a software device in order to prevent the unauthorized access. Anyway, all these are not going to be discussed again and again. Let's see whether it is going to come back somewhere, in any other places. But for the time being, in this section, we finished understanding how to choose the layout based on the distance and based on the number of computers placed. So that completes our choosing of network layout. So they can ask you one question. What is the question? They can ask you to draw the layout. So you should be drawing it with the help of the star topology. Now something which I want to show is, if they ask for which one to prefer, hub or switch for your star topology, if your cost is not a problem, that means if you can afford it, the answer should be switch. Hub can be done when you are not worried about filtering of data, or when you have less expense, or when you don't have enough money to spend on your network. Then you can simply talk about the hub and say that repeater can be placed to amplify the signals, etc., etc. So if question comes hub or switch, criteria has to be there. Hub when data transfer is not to be filtered, or expense is a problem or it's a constraint. Switch when you can always afford it, when you are able to spend more, and when you want to filter the data. So depending upon these areas, you can choose this. So questions are ready, or this is a kind of questions. Now after understanding, when questionnaire comes, you will have more idea. So after watching this video, definitely I'll be asking you certain questions. I'll present something if I can, and then I'll ask you questions. So then if you can get the answers, that means you know the problems, or you know the solutions for this. So we have not finished the chapter. Chapter will continue with terms and terminologies of internet, www, easy chapter only. But regarding computer networks, basic introduction is over, completed. So watch the video and find out the best layout you can choose. Thank you.